Hello and welcome to Simple Scotch Reviews. Today we have a new one here. It's Edradour 12 Caledonia. It is a 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey from the Highland region, bottled at 46% ABV. So my experience with Edradour's fairly limited. Just for a frame of reference from this video, the only two I've had are now this one, and prior to it the only other one I had is their standard 10-year-old. So I'm newer to this distillery. Alright, let's dive on into this whiskey. So on the nose, fruit is immediately apparent. Definitely that sherry influence, although it's not fully sherry matured. You might think it when you try it, but it's not, based off what I've read. It's just a sherry finish. And by sherry finish, I believe I saw something like 4 to 5 years, so we're talking like 7 and 5 maybe. Not your 6 month sherry finish or anything like that. It's got a hefty amount of sherry. So right away on the nose, definitely those fruits. It's hard to pick out a specific fruit note. Part of me thinks there may be a hint of like maybe orange or some citrus way in the background, but it's not really getting it very strong. Getting a graham cracker note in there. There's also something musty, a musty note in there. Not uncommon with the sherry cask whiskeys that I've had. Also getting it's a sweet note. I also get a bit of molasses in there. There's definitely a dark, rich sweetness, maybe like a dark, rich honey. Not quite sure, but there's a dark note. I am getting a specific molasses note in there. Let's take a taste. Immediate fruit on the palate of this whiskey. Did spend some time the other night getting to know this one. Usually with these impromptu reviews, it's kind of just try it for the first time, immediately do the review. I was gonna do that, but then I'm like, I need to spend a little time with this one first, because for me, in sherry or wine finished whiskeys, I tend to be able to pick out the specific fruit notes, but then there's a few whiskeys where I get a fruit note that's not, I can't pick out any specific types of fruit. A recent one that I did a review of that comes to mind is the Aberfeldy 18, that red wine cask finish one. I get a winey note, but I don't really get like any specific fruit notes, and I'm kind of getting that vibe from this one. There's fruit, it's there, nothing specific. I'm also getting a distinct like winey note. If I had to place, just to give you an idea on the flavor spectrum, because I know fruit can be very vastly different, whether it be tropical fruit, apple, and citrus are two very different things. So to put it on the spectrum, if I did identify it at all, I'd say berries. But yeah, not really getting a specific fruit note. So you get the fruit right up front. There's sweetness there with the fruit, kind of like a brown sugary syrupy sweetness with the fruit, and then after that in the palate there's a woody note that shows up. There's some baking spice, maybe like a cinnamon in there. I get maybe a trace hint of vanilla, but that woody note that shows up after the fruit, initial palate fruit, then the woody note shows up, and then that wood note rides it through to the finish. The finish is lingering, and it's mostly that wood tannin note. A little of the fruit hangs along, but mostly that wood note. So I came to this whiskey with because of some amazing recommendations from others, people people that I've seen other whiskey reviews, they were just, head over heels for this whiskey, talking it up, saying how amazing it was, one of the best they've tried. So there are whiskeys that I put into a special category. This whiskey does not fall into that category for me. It's a nice whiskey. It's very nice. I'll have to do a comparison review with the Edradour 10, but based off memory, this one's definitely above the Edradour 10, but it doesn't, to me, rise above nice to a special select few whiskeys for me. It's nothing transformative, but it's definitely a very nice whiskey. Certainly not a disappointment. I really like it, and I can definitely recommend it. I recommend it to everyone. But yeah, not even a specific crowd. This recommendation, universally, I recommend this whiskey. It's a very nice whiskey, not a horrible price, and I think you'll enjoy it. Hopefully this review helps if you've been considering it. Check out the channel, like, subscribe, stay up to date, and get all the reviews. More coming, tons there to browse. Hopefully these reviews help, and enjoy your whiskey. Thanks for watching.